bless me. For our gratitude, Mr. Sean.
Ha? Ito na ba ang mga sundalo ng Israelita?
Maliit man ako sa iyong paningin, malaki ang aking Diyos. Tutulungan ako ng aking Diyos at lalabanan kita at tatalunin kita.
Nayanig ang paligid sa pagbagsak ng gulayan. Si Mother Ricky, pasalamatan naman natin si Mother Ricky at palakpakan din natin siya kahit siya ay nasa ibang lugar ngayon. Paano kayo di gagaling, di ba?
Pinupurit, sinasamba kita.
And Lord, we believe you for testimony from every child in this place. In Jesus' name we pray. And all God's people say, Amen! Hallelujah!
Nung 2022 po, yung parang inipon ko talagang pera pambili nung Simply Nature, nung vials, na PPARs. Yun po yung iniinom ko.
Cancer lang siya, strong tayo. Kaya patuloy lang po tayong lumaban kasi may Panginoon tayong gumagabay sa atin lagi. Yun lang.
And on behalf of the Simply Nature team, God bless you all. Maraming salamat for blessing us this day. We hope that we have made you all happy. God bless you once again. Here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everybody.
CA markers.
Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad. In just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months. Cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo. Like Simply Nature na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs. Ako po ay cancer-free.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Simply Heal. Doc Jansen, so good to have you here again with us.
Hello Sean, hello everyone, happy to be here again.
Today, our topic is sort of related to another one that we did a few weeks ago. We were talking about immunotherapy, what you can do to make your immunotherapy work even better. There's actually diets that affect your immunotherapy, and that's so good to know, Doc. Doc, before we begin, I'll just ask this question.
Okay.
Why do so many conventional doctors, and very different from example, traditional medicine doctors, why do so many conventional medicine doctors say it's okay to eat anything as long as you take your medicine when you're sick?
Okay,
First of all, is that true?
yes, it's true. It's true that it's happening because I've
Okay.
seen patients who have.
But it's not true that you can eat anything when you're sick.
Of course, it's not true that you can. When you have cancer, it's not true that you can eat everything that you want. No, because there are a lot of foods. It is already well established that there are foods which can promote tumor growth, which can even cause cancer.
Yes,
Okay.
obviously your cancer came
So-
from somewhere.
Yes. So even if you're healthy, for that matter, you cannot eat everything that you like because foods that you eat, there
Will
are
make you-
diseases associated with it.
That's true. If you eat cockles and shellfish, you might get hepatitis, right? Yeah. So these are things that have an impact. But why do doctors keep saying that it's okay?
Okay, I cannot say
And you're a doctor yourself, so at any point in your career as a doctor, before you went and specialized in lifestyle medicine, did you also have that mindset, or did you think, no, what I eat affects, or were you guilty of ever telling patients, yeah, you can eat whatever you want, just make sure you take your medicine?
Okay, it has something to do on how doctors are educated
Okay.
since med school. So in med school, doctors usually only get less than 3 hours of nutrition education.
This is important information. You study like 8 years in med school, but only like 3 hours of nutritional studies.
Yes. So that's one thing.
So the focus will be on how powerful medicine is and how not important nutrition is, because out of 8 years, you only spend like 3 years on nutrition.
And of course, these are oncologists, right?
Okay.
So oncologists are specialists in cancer care. So these doctors are highly specialized in treating cancer. So they study cancer and the different drugs, different treatment modalities to fight cancer. Of course, there would be some aspects of nutrition. Yes, they do advise nutrition
In general.
management in general. However, the nutrition management that they would be able to provide would not be as specialized at that cancer treatment that they are giving you. Okay? To be fair with other oncologists actually give very sound nutritional advice.
Yes,
to
there is
patients.
also a growing group of oncologists that are young doctors actually that are taught in med school now on nutrition.
Yes.
Yes, and with all the world movement towards like being vegan and vegetable, plant-based, I think even oncologists get an
Yes.
idea that things are changing.
Yes, we have had in the previous lifestyle medicine conference that we had, there are a number of oncologists that spoke to us, lifestyle medicine specialists, and yeah, they're already embracing a plant-based diet. in their practice. So that's really
There we
wonderful.
go. And since we talk about plant-based diets, we talk about usually this thing called fiber. Dietary fiber is so important especially for cancer patients because it will actually allow your gut to produce anti-cancer hormones, right? That will help you fight cancer. Now, Doc, when we talk about gut health, there are two things that we always take. We think about fiber and we think about probiotics. Now, specifically for immunotherapy, since our program always focuses on cancer, for immunotherapy, which is better, fiber or probiotic or both?
Yeah. So remember before I answer that, no?
Yeah.
Remember the previous episode that we've had, no? So we've mentioned different dietary patterns that have good effects on if you are receiving immunotherapy, specifically immune checkpoint inhibitor therapy. Okay, so these are ketogenic diet,
Yes, I remember.
protein restricted diet,
Yes.
and a high fiber diet.
Yes.
Now we all know why a ketogenic diet would not be good, although it produces positive results if you're undergoing immune checkpoint inhibitor therapy. However, you cannot be on ketogenic diet for a very long time because if you don't die of cancer, then you will die of heart disease. Okay?
Yes. I always tell many people who are so pro keto. Number one, Doc, even in ketogenic diets, there is the proper way to do keto, and most, I would say 75% to 80% of the people who practice ketogenic diets do it the wrong way. You use animal protein and fats.
Yes.
A healthy keto diet is actually getting your protein and fats from fruits and vegetables like avocado.
Yes. Although there is a plant-based ketogenic diet, however, a plant-based ketogenic diet, in my position, it's still not good because there are a lot of other plant nutrients that you won't be able to get. Okay, because you won't be able to get. Okay. Now, the next question would be, if ketogenic diet is so bad and it's a high protein, high fat diet,
yes,
what would happen if we restrict the protein? So again, we have shown you that a protein restricted diet together with immune checkpoint inhibitor is also effective. Now, next, what if we increase the
fiber intake instead?
Okay. Now, it's also does wonders actually.
Wow.
And what is it in a high fiber diet that makes it so good? No, it's because of the prebiotic and the probiotic interaction and its effect on the immune system and the nutrients it produces that prevents cancer and makes the immunotherapy more effective. So now, if we take a look at the broader scheme of things, no, a high fiber diet would make more sense because it not only is effective with your cancer treatment, your cancer itself, it's also very good for your overall your body, right? So it's the choice of diet for cancer patients. Now, the next question would be to answer, which would be better? Probiotics or fiber? Okay, so here it goes. Now, this study showed us that if we compare a low fiber intake to a high fiber intake, no, so at less than 20 grams per day and over 20 grams per day, so a sufficient dietary fiber intake actually demonstrated improved progression-free survival. So what does this mean? It means that patients who are on a sufficiently fiber or a sufficiently high fiber diet, they have a better or longer period of time where they are cancer-free or where they are in remission.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's your definitive answer. And I noticed, Doc, every 5 gram increase of the fiber intake actually lowers your, or lets you stay in remission 30% higher chance, right?
Yes.
So that means the more fiber you take, the better it is, the longer you stay cancer free.
Yes, so that's why I've been pushing every patient of mine, that every patient that goes to me to go on a plant-based diet, it's because of.
And it makes so much sense because America, is the country where you hear a lot of cancer cases, and even here in Asia we have increased cancer cases. And what is very true in the last 30 to 40 years is that our amount of real dietary fiber in our food has just been dropping. And that the drop in the amount of dietary fiber versus and the corresponding increase in cancer is like it's a perfect match, because the dietary fiber in our diets have gone down, our cancer rates have gone up. And so it makes perfect sense, and this data shows that. Oh yeah, look at this one. Guys, look at this on the chart. This, when I saw this, when Doc Jansen showed me this, I was shocked. Doc, maybe you can just say a few words about the chart that's on the screen now.
Okay, so what does this chart or what does this graph tells us? No? So a fiber-rich diet, or the fiber-rich diet group, had delayed tumor outgrowth compared to fiber-poor diet when treated with anti-PD-1 therapy. So what does this statement mean? If you're on a high-fiber diet and you are undergoing immune checkpoint inhibitor therapy, the tumor growth would be so minimal.
Wow, I mean, look at this. We don't have the actual numbers because it's so low you don't see the actual number, but it looks to me like about 30. That means the tumor size is about 30, right? And if you are in a low fiber diet, on the highest, the extreme, the tumor size is almost 350. 30 versus 350 is 10 times, 11 times, actually 11.5 times difference. Wow, can you imagine with immunotherapy and on high fiber, your tumor growth is so much lower. If you're on low fiber, it's 11 times.
Yes.
Oh my God, 1 centimeters versus 11 centimeters. I mean, just to magnify the difference. There's a huge difference.
Yes, it's a huge difference. So it's very important. If you're on immunotherapy,
go for a high fiber diet.
Yes. In the next episode, we're going to explain to you why this is the choice. This is the dietary pattern of choice. Okay, so let's move on.
Yeah. But now we know fiber definitely sure winner. What about probiotics?
Okay. Now for probiotics, it would make sense, right? Because here's the relationship of prebiotics, probiotics, and cancer.
Yes, actually, Doc, I think many people are confused. What's a prebiotic and what's a probiotic? In their mind, they probably misunderstood the meaning, right? Yeah.
Okay, so everybody knows already what a probiotic is. A probiotic is just
good bacteria.
It's good bacteria found in our gut.
Okay, so what's prebiotic?
Good bacteria, okay? So a prebiotic is the food
for the probiotic. It's not the baby biotic, okay?
Okay, so it's the food. Now, the prebiotic is the technical term of fiber.
Okay.
Okay, so that's just it. Because humans, us, no, we are not able to digest fiber, but the bacteria inside our gut can. Now,
so here, flash on the screen. Remember this forever. Probiotic equals good bacteria. Prebiotic equals fiber.
Yes.
And what does what's the fiber for? It's food for the good bacteria.
Now, if you feed prebiotics to the probiotics, what happens? So the probiotics will now digest it and then produce a lot of chemicals, usually a lot of short chain fatty acids.
Okay.
No? So like your butyrate, your propionate. Okay, so especially butyrate. Butyrate has anti-cancer effects, anti-inflammatory effects. It can modulate the immune system. So how does it modulate the immune system? When the immune system needs to be hostile, it becomes hostile. If the immune system needs to be toned down, then it becomes calm.
And that's really good. You have a proper working immune system.
It makes the immune system smart, right? Now, next question. What if we just supplement with the probiotics? However, the dietary fiber is, you maintain your consumption of dietary
because
fiber.
now in Philippines and Singapore, many people take probiotic supplements every day. In fact, I would be more confident to say people take more probiotics than prebiotics. What happens? And it's not cheap. Probiotics are not cheap. It's at least 1,005 pesos, $50 a month or less. That means $50 won't even last you 1 month. All right, so it's not cheap. So what happens when you take lots of probiotic with very little prebiotic?
Okay, so in this research though that they've done, okay, the probiotic use demonstrated impaired anti-tumor response.
This is specifically for immunotherapy.
Yes. Also, what if you combine two, dietary fiber and probiotics? So, yes, dietary fiber and probiotics modulates the microbiome, and that anti-tumor immunity becomes impaired in those who are receiving a low fiber intake.
Okay, wow, this actually means that if you take probiotics and have low fiber intake, it made the thing worse.
It made the thing worse, no?
This is specifically for immunotherapy, alright? It's not talking about healthy people,
Yes.
okay?
Okay.
And not talking about people going for chemotherapy. This is specifically for immunotherapy.
Now, why is this so? No? The researchers might have used the wrong probiotics, wrong strain, or there is just something that we're missing. Okay, we still have to find out why.
So the safe bet is to go for high fiber diet, and you already have an existing internal probiotic system, right? Yeah. So better to do that than not to than to just go out and take probiotics when you are on immunotherapy.
Yes. So that confirmed that statement, no, just confirms what this graph says. No, the most pronounced benefit observed in patients with sufficient dietary fiber and no probiotic use.
No probiotic use. So pure. I'm so glad. That means Simply Nature's cleanse is ideal for patients because we did not put probiotics into the prebiotics. It's just 100% prebiotic dietary fiber. Wow. So Doc, we've conclusively answered high fiber intake is something that's important. Now, Doc, I just wanted to ask you, when we take dietary fiber versus like supplementation of dietary fiber, I'm just wondering, when we take dietary fiber in our lunch while we eat the food, it's sort of like mixed with all the food. But if we take dietary fiber like a cleanse, our Simply Nature cleanse, it's usually taken on its own, right? So how does that measure up to our required daily fiber intake?
It would still help,
Okay.
But of course, if you compare the two, it would still be better to get dietary fiber from whole foods
while you're eating your food.
While you're eating the food, yeah. Now, because aside from the dietary fiber, there are a lot of phytonutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, everything that works in synergy in the food, because it's what God made
for
us,
you,
made for us to eat, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know it's very difficult to go on a plant-based diet. So, and some people actually really need help because they are, have bowel movement problems.
Yes.
So, that's where fiber supplements like Cleansing Plus would come in. Okay, because reality, when reality strikes, it's so difficult. So this is where it comes in. So you still need to increase the amount of fiber that you eat. So might as well go and take a supplement.
And I'm not sick, and I have very healthy bowel movements. But every time I'm coming down with a flu or something like that, my wife actually forces me to go and take Cleansing Plus. And I realize it does help. It makes me feel like sort of cool down. I don't know whether that's a right term to use, because when you're getting flu, you feel heated up, fever coming, right? So when I take the dietary fiber like Cleansing Plus, I actually start to feel cooling down in the sense that my buildup of that feverish feeling starts to subside. So it really amazes me that fiber is doing a job like paracetamol.
Yes.
It's like having a paracetamol effect on me. And I do end up going to the CR a bit more, and it does feel good, especially when you're having a fever, to go to the CR. So yeah, there we go. Dietary fiber is so important, even in healthy people, and especially so for those going for immunotherapy. Doc, before we go to the AMA, because I see lots of questions coming in, our next topic that's going to be linked to tonight's topic is actually going to be how exactly fiber affects immunotherapy.
Yes. On the next episode, we're going to answer that specific question on why is it a high fiber diet, why is it a plant-based diet is really very good for immunotherapy and specifically for immune checkpoint inhibitor therapy. Okay, we're going to answer what ICI therapy is, what immunotherapy is, how it relates to the immune system, how it fights cancer, and how a plant-based diet is ideal for ICI therapy.
There you go. So let's now move to Ask Me Anything.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sheila, and you are watching another episode of Simply Healed webinar brought to you by Simply Nature. Tonight's episode is entitled Effect of Dietary Fiber and Probiotics on Immunotherapy Response. There you go. Now, we are now in the what we call Ask Me Anything portion. I'm sure that you have learned so much from the two gentlemen who shared a topic discussion for tonight. So without further ado, to answer all our questions for tonight, I'd like to call on the CEO of Simply Nature and PPARS expert from Singapore, Mr. Sean Lim, and of course, our lifestyle medicine doctor, Dr. Jansen Calalan. Good evening, Sir Sean, and good evening, Dr. Jansen.
Good evening, Sheila.
Hello, Sheila. Hello, Sean. Good evening, everyone. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I think today's topic is a really great start to a new year. We had great attendance today. I just want to give a special shout out because we actually have Chief Matt Tex, research analyst.
That's true.
Yeah, not our usual crowd. Usual crowd are the patients, not the people behind the therapy for the patients. But I'd just like to welcome all these professionals. I hope that tonight, I hope you still found it interesting. You guys are also the expert. But I also hope that the way we presented tonight gave you an insight from the perspective of the people who will use your research and use your services, how they look at it and how important it is for us to help them understand what you are doing, what we are all doing. So let's answer some questions.
Yes, but I just want to also recognize and acknowledge our nutritionists.
Oh,
who
a
also
nutritionist joining
registered for
us.
tonight. And also, we do. And also, of course, our avid viewers. Starting up with our Miss Lily coming from Malaysia.
Hi,
Miss
Lily.
from the
Lily, I'm going to be in
Philippines.
Singapore by tomorrow evening. Yay! I'm closer to you tomorrow. Chinese New Year, no
Yes.
choice. Have to go home.
Oh, yes. Also with, of course, Miss Nessie and, of course, Mr. Archie Hoxan. Hello and good evening. Thank you for watching again. Now, for the first question we have here, coming from Mr. Archie Hoxan. What are the possible causes that kills or destroys probiotics? May be on water, medicine, or food.
Yeah, very good question. So,
Good question.
probiotics are bacteria, no? So it's usually antibiotics that kills them or alcohol. Okay. Of course, we do not drink, isopropyl alcohol But alcohol, in that sense, no, when you drink liquor, beer, the alcohol in those liquor can also kill the probiotics. Okay. Now, that's for food, no? Food and beverage. Okay. For medicines, it's antibiotics. However, please keep in mind that although you are not taking the antibiotic directly or the medication directly, okay, the antibiotics can make its way to our plate as well. So what happens behind the scenes? Okay, the agricultural industry, okay, your cattle, so that would include your pigs, your cows, your chicken, your fishes.
Yeah, the fishes use a lot of antibiotics.
So the farmers use antibiotics and feed them to the animals. Okay, so it's to prevent the animals from dying from infection and from infecting other animals as well. No? So and since they are giving these animals antibiotics, large doses of antibiotics, when they kill them, okay, sometimes there's not enough time for the animals to excrete or eliminate the antibiotics inside their body. Since we kill them, okay, then we process the meat, so the antibiotics makes its way on our food, and then we cook the meat, right? Antibiotics doesn't get destroyed by heat, okay? So in a way, we indirectly take the antibiotics that the agricultural industry fed these animals as well.
Also, that will kill the microbiome in our intestines.
Yes, and the problem here is, since we eat them as food already, right? So in terms of the amount of antibiotics, it would already be at a very low dose. It would already be a very low dose. And the problem there is antibiotic resistance happens when we take in low dose antibiotics. So it's like
Oh, you didn't kill the
Yeah.
bacteria. It survived with the slight onslaught.
Yes.
It gets resistant. It gets
resistance.
trained.
So the saying something that does not kill you only makes you stronger is really
Very true, even
very
for
true in
things
this.
that we don't want.
Yeah, so it's very true in this sense, no? So yeah, those are some of the ways on how probiotics can get killed. Okay? Yeah.
Okay. I see Mary Ann Castro coming from Quirino Memorial Medical Center. So I guess she's one of fellow colleague of yours in a sense, in the industry.
Probably she.
All right. So thank you, Mary Ann. It's such a compliment for you to thank us that you found the topic informative. So feel free to ask questions. We can get a bit technical. No worries. It is a Ask Me Anything segment. So anything under the sky. Someone asked last week, is Dr. Jansen single? All right. He hasn't answered yet. He hasn't answered yet. All right. So I'll let him decide whether he wants to answer that. Okay. So thank you for all, even the professionals that are here tonight. That could be a very interesting discussion. If you have any questions, even if it's very technical, ask. And I think our regular viewers will also enjoy this. Yes. Next question, Sheila.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Okay. Next question coming from Ms. Dolly Kaluban. Someone wants to make sure, Doc, can we eat cakes or bread once in a while if we have cancer?
You really want to push it, huh? Okay. If you currently have cancer or undergoing treatment for cancer, the answer is no. Unfortunately, although I really want to say yes, however, it's really not a good advice to say yes. The only time that it would be, you're ready to eat these kinds of foods, especially when there are animal protein included or animal food products included in the ingredients, is when you are already on remission.
Sheila, what's the name of the patient that asked this question? You mentioned it.
It's Miss Dolly Kaluban.
Miss Dolly, I want to tell you, normally I'm the devil's advocate. I'm the one, Doc Jansen is the vegan. I'm the one that keep breaking the rule. But I want to tell you from personal experience, I would totally agree with Doc Jansen. My aunt was fighting terminal stomach cancer with lots and lots of complications. She went for a very delicate surgery that most surgeons didn't even want to do. But we found a surgeon who was willing to do it. She was really on death's bed. She made the, I guess, considered a miraculous turnaround. She survived that critical stage. After surgery, they will observe. And she seemed to be on the mend. She seemed to be doing well. And unfortunately, her very good friend boiled a whole pot of beef stew. Okay, and boiled like 8-10 hours of so really extracted so-called the goodness of beef stew. So my aunt and her friend are both in their early 60s, late 50s. So they're very traditional, right? So they think that a patient recovering from surgery needs strength. Let's take the beef stew. And today we know how. I mean, I was not there. If I was there, I'd be screaming. We know it's terrible. Animal protein is really terrible for cancer. And this one has been boiled with the bones for 8 hours. My aunt took one bowl and her condition totally turned around, right? And I think less than 2 or 3 weeks later, she left us. So it was one of my personal experience. We know this by logic, by what we study. But it's very different when it happens to someone else. But it happened to your own aunt, your own family member. It really hits you really hard. So yes, I really do believe that a single, especially if your condition is critical, a single slice of cake could be the one that tip. For many cancer patients, they take it as okay. But what if you are that 1 in 10 or 1 in 20? That cake really makes a difference and breaks the good progress that you're going to have. So I would agree with Dr. Jansen, don't. All right? Until you really get into remission, and then you're fine, right? So it's not worth the risk, because getting to where you are now already took so much effort. Don't flush it down the drain.
Thank you. Very important. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Thank you, Sir Sean. All right, the next question coming again from Mr. Archie Hobson. Is there Simply Nature product with probiotics and prebiotics?
Okay, that's a good question. We will start finding one. Okay, actually we actually have a great probiotic, and if there are any technical researchers here still with us or join us today, we have a very interesting probiotic product. It's called AD Pro. Okay, it's the first therapeutic, yes, and I would say that first therapeutic level probiotic serum for topical application. So its uses are really for eczema, psoriasis, okay, anything with inflammation, because the bacteria that causes inflammation is what's that called? Staphylococcus. That's the one that causes the redness and the inflammation. So we have our own strain of bacteria that crowds out Staphylococcus. So that works for eczema, works for even burn wounds, not on the open wound itself, but the surrounding area. All right, it's great for radiation therapy patients, for cancer patients, because the skin burn. Normally an oncologist can only give you aloe vera, but that's really to cool and to moisturize the skin, but it doesn't really help with the healing. And you know, with the facial, you can't use steroid creams because our facial skin is much thinner than the rest of the body. And it's dermatologists do not use steroid creams, or try not to use steroid creams on the face. So having a probiotic that will be able to fight off the infection and bacteria is really fantastic. So for that question, it's a good question. Actually, the inventor who invented AD Pro is a good friend of mine. She actually supplies high-grade probiotics to Japanese and Korean firms. And she was asking me, so maybe 2023, maybe before year end, Simply Nature will introduce some high-grade probiotics. But let me be warned, I don't think it will be that cheap. Yeah, but we will definitely make sure it's something that is good. All right, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for also mentioning that, because some of our clients are once again looking for AD Pro.
Oh, okay. For the clients that are looking for AD Pro, I'm gonna share something with you right now that is very exciting. Our AD Pro works wonders. In fact, Doc Jansen's cousin by serendipity is actually she didn't even know that it was Doc Jansen's connected to AD Pro, right? But actually it helped the person so much that we ran out of stock. I happened to have expired AD Pro. All right, as the person was like, give it to me, and it still worked, right? Oh yeah, this is what AD Pro looks like. Give it to me, and it still worked wonders. So the good news, the good news is that the reason why we are not restocking it is because we've come up with new formulation. It's even better than the one that we soft launched last year. And we we also created another product which is more of a daily use. So it ends up the serum that those who use that we also came out with a product that you can use daily, which is much like a normal price of a moisturizer, so that it's not so costly for days that you don't have any breakouts, right? So I think this new combination of the concentrated serum for emergency and breakout days, and the normal moisturizer at moisturizer price, right? Something very affordable that you can use every day, with the probiotic inside for daily use. So those who are looking for AD Pro, just be patient a little more. I think maybe give us about 3 to 5 months. We should be able to have the new set coming to you. And for those who really need it, I have some expired ones. They still work. Just private message me, okay?
Thank you, Sir Sean. Yeah, it's good that you have mentioned, because this upcoming AD Pro set is actually perfect not just for people with skin illnesses, but also for people on radiation.
Yes, for radiation therapy for their wounds. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Another question coming from Ms. Agnes Quinto. Is it okay if you take high fiber diet with carbohydrates? Is it okay if you take high fiber diet with carbohydrates?
Oh,
Is it okay to take a high fiber diet with carbohydrates? Fiber is carbohydrates. I think the person who asked this means that is it okay to take a high fiber diet with refined carbohydrates or processed
yeah.
carbohydrates?
So I think the person is meaning to ask that would it be a great combination, because we don't want to take so much carbohydrates. We don't want it to be absorbed by our body so quickly,
Yeah,
especially
right.
the refined one. So
Right.
taking fiber will slow down the process.
Yeah, so
So it's a good combination.
yes, the answer to your question is yes, very yes, no. So imagine, no. So typically here in the Philippines, very simple meal would include white rice, so it's a refined grain, no. White plain rice, and some greens, and probably some fish on the side, and yeah. So that would typically be a typical Filipino diet. So with this, no, since white rice is a refined carbohydrate, so technically speaking, it's a processed carbohydrate. It's all starch, all sugar, with a very minimal fiber content. And then on the side, or your viand would be green leafy vegetables. Let's say, for example, water spinach or kangkong, no. So it's a high fiber food, no. So when you combine this, that would be healthy, no, because of the fiber that is contained in the water spinach. Okay, so the thing is here, if you continue on doing this, be sure to increase the amount of vegetables, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes that you eat, that you consume, because white rice is really just sugar. Okay, it's really just starch, inside. So when that goes into your system, it goes into your stomach. If the food that you are eating is very low in fiber, you'd be able to absorb the sugar very fast. So that would lead to very high spikes in your blood sugar. Then when your blood sugar spikes, your insulin spikes likewise, no, to bring the blood sugar down. If this goes on for a very long period of time, that would eventually lead to diabetes. Okay. Now, in order to prevent this from happening, high fiber diet is very important, so that the fiber sort of acts like a sponge, no. So the intestine won't be able to absorb the carbohydrates or the sugar that fast. So your blood sugar won't spike up, your insulin won't spike up as well. Okay? Now, regardless though, what I'm talking about is prevention, but if you have diabetes, the same thing applies as well. Okay? High fiber diet is still the dietary pattern of choice when you are trying to reverse diabetes.
Yeah,
Okay?
actually, these food combinations are really important and very surprising. You'll be very surprised, a diabetic shouldn't eat sweet stuff, right? But yet, if you take naturally sweet stuff like a mango, and you boost it with other high fiber fruits together with it,
Yes.
you will find very surprisingly your blood sugar doesn't shoot up
Yes.
as what you expected.
Absolutely.
I have a friend who worked in a 3-star Michelin restaurant, and yes, that means the top grade restaurant. And he was sharing with me he could make gelato that's glycemic index is friendly. Wow.
I want to try
yeah.
that.
Okay, and here it is. I gave him an entire bottle of our pipa tablets. Guess what? He managed to make pipa tablet gelato.
Wow.
And it tasted good.
Oh.
Yeah, it tasted good. So literally, unfortunately, it was just an experiment, but because number one, it'll be really expensive. Okay, it will be really expensive, right? But he was able to make it such that every scoop of gelato is about 20 micro tablets of pipa tablets. So literally, this is a gelato that as you eat this gelato or ice cream, your blood sugar, blood cholesterol will come down. So this is it was quite an amazing, he mixed it with a little bit of coconut milk. So the microalgae flavor blended very well,
That's really...
as like a burnt taste, very nice. Unfortunately, it was a bit expensive to make, or else all of you will be able to eat an ice cream that lowers your blood sugar. Can you imagine eating an ice cream that lowers your blood sugar? Okay, so this is just to elaborate a little bit about how powerful a simple thing as adding dietary fiber into your diet can actually make change the way your body absorbs the nutrients and manage some medical conditions. Yeah, I saw a question on YouTube from Agnes Quinto asking if mushroom is good is a food that's good for cancer patients. The answer is absolutely yes. Mushrooms are fantastic. But please make sure you eat edible mushrooms and not the poisonous one, okay?
Of course.
Right, Doc Jansen, mushrooms
Yes.
are amazing healing foods.
Yes. Mushrooms are really very. Mushrooms have beta glucan. So beta glucan is one type of immunomodulator. So its effect is actually very similar to microalgae.
Okay, Doc, this is an important question. We always know, strawberries are good for esophagus cancer.
Yeah.
This food is good for that cancer. Now, actually, how much mushrooms must we take before it makes a difference, right? Obviously, taking one mushroom we know is not going to make a difference. How much mushrooms must we take before it really makes a difference to our health?
Half a cup, that would be okay already. Half a cup every meal.
Okay, half a cup every meal.
Half a cup, just imagine.
Okay, I cook. For those of you out there who don't cook, let me tell you, half a cup will end up being 2 tablespoons. Because half a cup of mushrooms, when you cook it, it shrinks. It shrinks dramatically. So it will end up being 2 tablespoons of mushroom. So actually, basically one big, if you have a ladle, 1 scoop of mushroom, if you have that every meal, it makes a difference.
Yes.
Okay, that's doable. That's doable, right? Not so cheap if you're gonna take it every day, but it's doable. All right, and it tastes good.
Is it true, Doc, that mushrooms are also good source of protein?
Yes, actually, for vegetarians, they source aside from tofu, they use mushrooms as one of their protein replacements.
Okay, I see a question that I can answer. This is from Yanni Likanda. I hope I got. Sorry, I hope I didn't murder your name. Okay, forgive me if I did. All right. Asking if you can take Pipar's vow because your boss left 7 vows. The answer is yes. Okay, you can. But the interesting question that you're asking is, can you take Pipar powders and the vow together? Okay, if you are asking that question, you can, but it's sayang. It's not necessary. Okay, if you take the vow, you don't need to take the powder because the vow is more concentrated than the powder. But this is what I can suggest to you. Okay, normally for serious cancer patients, we do ask them to take 2 vows a day for a very simple reason. The body is, you have 24 hours in a day. Whatever food you take, there is only a certain amount of time that it stays and works in your system. So what I would suggest to you is you take the vow in the morning, and if you also have a jar of powder, you take 2 scoops of the powder at night before you sleep. So Meron is like a 24-hour coverage. Your 24 hours, your entire body is being stimulated, your Pipar pathways are being activated, all right? So if you happen to have access to the liquid vials, and you also have powder, this is how I would suggest that you use it. Okay, but don't use it together. It's not it's overkill. The liquid has much more Pipar agonist than the powder, so there's no need to add the powder to the liquid at the same time.
Yes, thank you.
Lots of questions on types of mushrooms, Doc. You want to cover that? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to the types of mushrooms, I haven't found any study comparing different types of mushrooms to its anti-cancer or its effect on cancer. No? So here's how I approach it. As long as it's mushrooms, go for it. But specifically, the types of mushrooms that have been well studied would be your shiitake, reishi. Reishi, I think it's linked.
Oh,
yeah.
Reishi is linked? Okay.
I think so. I'm not so sure. But
Okay.
those are the 2 kinds of mushrooms that are really well studied. However, please don't, what's that called? Don't stress yourself out that you can't find these mushrooms, or it's very difficult to source these mushrooms, or it might be too expensive. or out of reach for you, well, you can go to your local supermarket and just buy button mushrooms. I mean, or the mushrooms, the strands of mushrooms, gnocchi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gnocchi. So those are more common, and or the oyster mushrooms, no. Those are more common and relatively, cheaper. So just go for whatever is available locally.
It's better when we come to nutrition that you are able to be regular. That means if you only eat 灵芝 twice versus shiitake mushrooms every day for a month, the shiitake mushroom might be better than the 灵芝.
Yes, and 灵芝 is expensive, right?
灵芝 is expensive, and for those, okay, I will be able to better answer all your questions next year, okay? Because I'm actually undergoing TCM training right now, okay? And I want to share with all of you, it's because of all of you that I'm going back to study at my age of 48 years old, right? Okay, because we already can answer questions on conventional medicine, so we really wanted to be able to answer questions on TCM. And lo and behold, people ask us about 灵芝, all right? Okay, and this is the reason why I went back to study. Because Dr. Jansen already covered the conventional, so we thought, let's go. Anyway, I just want to caution everybody, if you want to take things like ginseng and 灵芝, I really, really want to caution you, don't just go and buy from some direct marketing, network marketing company. Please understand, 灵芝, ginseng, they are all herbs. Okay? There is a reason why traditional Chinese medicine, they are also called doctors. They have to study 8-10 years also. For things like ginseng and 灵芝, they do have side effects. They have to be balanced. You can't just keep taking it, okay? I want to give everybody a bit of insight. You know, you watch Chinese movie, the Kung Fu movies, and then sometimes they will show the crazy TCM doctor who takes some tree bugs, bark and snake skin and whatever, and then cooks it in an earthen pot. Okay, I just want to let you know, if there are like 10 recipes in a herbal medication prescription by a Chinese TCM, maybe out of the 10, only 4 is for your illness. Only 4 of the ingredients is for your illness. The other 6 ingredients is to balance the 4. You get what I mean? So there's this saying in Chinese, 以毒攻毒. It means to use poison to fight poison. So conventional medicine is not the only medicine that is poisonous. Just for everybody's information, right? I am quoting my cousin. My cousin is a cardiologist. He actually said that as a doctor, he's trained in the administration of poison, which makes absolute sense. None of us would take drugs, medicine, if we were healthy. Obviously, because you wouldn't take medicine if you were healthy. It's a poison, actually. So even in traditional Chinese medicine, it's the same thing. You don't take all these herbs unless you are sick, all right? Or if you take those herbs to adjust or tune your organs, they have to be done in correct dosages and for not indefinitely. So again, I will encourage all of you, those who are interested to get 灵芝, to take 灵芝or ginseng or all this to fight an illness like cancer, please go and see a TCM, a really certified TCM, and then at least let them check your dosages. Because don't just buy products and then just take them, okay? Because that's still medicine. It's traditional Chinese herbs. It's not food. It's not food.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Sean. Okay, all right. So another question. We have a lot of questions coming in, okay, by the way. All right, let's try to answer more questions. Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Another question coming from Ms. James Bugtay. What are the foods high in probiotics that is also good for cancer patients?
Okay, first of all, before you answer that one, someone asked before, is Yakult good for as a probiotic?
No.
Okay, no.
Yakult, no. Why is Yakult not a good...
okay, we're not we're not saying Yakult is bad, alright? Please, everyone.
Okay, not just Yakult, no. I'm going to hit every probiotic drink.
Okay, I'm going to stand further away from Dr. Jansen.
Yeah.
Now Yakult's going to be angry.
No, because the brand Yakult is is already part of the Filipino culture, I think.
Yeah,
So whenever
okay.
we see a probiotic drink,
Yeah.
milk,
Same
looks
in
like-
Singapore as
even,
well.
Even it says A B C D, we say it's Yakult.
Yeah. Even yeah. Okay. I get what you mean. So you're talking about generic probiotic dessert drinks.
Yes,
And
yes,
these are
yes.
really dessert drinks because we don't drink them because they're probiotic. Don't lie. We drink them because we like the taste.
Yeah, we like the taste.
Yeah. Okay. What's your comment on on
It's
things
not
like?
good, no, because number one, it's very high in sugar.
All right. That's
Number
true.
two, it's dairy. They use dairy.
Mm.
Okay, dairy is not good for humans. Okay, why is it not good? That's a totally entire webinar in and of itself. So, I won't go
we'll
into
cover
more
it another
details.
time.
But that's my my opinion on it. Okay.
Yes, and I want to share with you when a pediatrician, which is very common, pediatricians often prescribe probiotics. You can just look at the cost. The cost of one sachet of probiotic is like one entire package of 6 Yakults. Okay, so obviously you pay for what you get. All right, so it's really a totally different quality level. Okay, yeah. So
The question. Foods that are very high in probiotics,
Yeah.
that would be your preserved vegetables.
Your achara.
Your achara, your
Achara.
kimchi, sauerkraut, what else? Yeah, those foods. However, if you want to prevent stomach cancer, do not eat those foods. And if
Okay.
ever you want to eat those foods, eat them sparingly.
Okay, so then how do we get probiotics if these are not good?
Feed them with prebiotics. So, fiber. Again, a
Oh, so
plant-based
your
diet.
body already has probiotics.
Yes.
Feed it with fiber. Or you take actual probiotic supplements
Yes.
and then feed it with
Then
fiber.
feed it
It's
with
cheaper.
fiber.
It's cheaper
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
okay.
probiotic supplements are not cheap. So you make sure you get some probiotics in and then you just keep feeding them. Keep them alive. Keep them alive. Okay, that's a good and financially sustainable strategy.
Alright, thank you, Doc, thank you, sir. Another question coming from
kimchi.
Mr.
Your
Bien.
favorite topic, kimchi. I'm gonna preempt on that. Kimchi, eat it sparingly. The Koreans have very high incidence of stomach cancer. So there's a reason for that. Okay. Enjoy your kimchi. We're not saying don't eat it, but don't eat it like the Koreans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have a higher occurrence of stomach cancer.
Thank you, sir. Another question coming from Mr. Bien Almendros. Maintenance drugs could kill probiotics? Is
No.
that correct, Doc Lancy?
No. The only drug that can kill probiotics or bacteria, for that matter, is antibiotics.
So your maintenance drugs are fine.
Yeah, correct.
But maintenance drugs are not good for your kidney and liver. Long term, right?
Yeah, long term.
Okay.
And too much or polypharmacy, the way we call that polypharmacy, you're taking 10 different drugs. So yeah, it won't be good for your body. So it's very important to prevent that from happening in the first place. Okay.
So if you're having a metabolic syndrome, we can really get you off your maintenance meds over a period of 1 to 3 months. Simply talk to Sheila or make a consult with Dr. Jansen.
Thank you. Okay, another question coming from Ms. Umi Ahmed. Docs, is there a possibility of recurrence of cancer if the patient is not observing a proper diet, even he is in complete remission?
Definitely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why else would you hear all those very sad stories of people who celebrating that they are in remission, really so excited about life after winning that battle against cancer for the last 1.5 years of surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and then later is so devastating that the cancer comes back. All right, so maybe Doc, you want to elaborate on this?
That's it. Yeah. I don't think I can add more to that. So the reason why in order for you to fight the battle against cancer is to prevent it from happening in the first place. The best diet to prevent cancer is a plant-based diet. And what is good in preventing cancer is also good for fighting cancer. Okay? So it's the same diet, it's the same dietary pattern.
And I want to add this thing here. for this particular patient that asked this question, since you use the word remission, it's very likely that you won your battle against cancer using chemotherapy, radiation therapy. All right. So now that you are in remission, especially the first year, very important, very sensitive. The reason is this: chemotherapy, radiation therapy hurt your body. It won the battle, but it might have damaged your bone marrow. So your immune system is not pre-cancer strong. It is weaker. Okay? The remission, the recurrence of the cancer doesn't happen in 1 month. It happens in, that's why you need to monitor your cancer for 5 years, because it takes time for the cancer to build back up strength. Now, the most critical part is the first year. If you hit the cancer so hard and then you smash it so much, it will take 15-20 years for it to grow back in strength. You know, just like your original cancer didn't grow in 2 years, 3 years. No, if you understand the doubling rate of cancer, that cancer started 7 years ago, was totally undetectable until the last 2-3 years. Then it became detectable, whether it be stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or stage 4. So the cancer was growing for a long time, okay, before it reached a stage where it starts doubling very quickly and then it's very noticeable. So the same here. When you successfully fight cancer, you don't destroy cancer from your body. There is still always a remnant left. Now, if you smash them so hard, there's so little left that it will take them another 10-15 years to come back. And if in the meanwhile, you strengthen your immune system, you make it so difficult for it to continue to accumulate and grow, then you will stay cancer-free for the rest of your life. So the first year after your chemotherapy, radiation therapy is the most important. How fast you rebuild your immune system is how long it will take the cancer to find a grip in your life again. If you do a great job, it may never be able to find a good grip. Now, this is why for those patients who have not gone for your chemo yet, have not gone for your radiation, but are going to go for chemo and radiation, here's an even better strategy. Don't even let your immune system be damaged by the chemotherapy. And how do you do that? Go and consult with Dr. Jansen. He uses Simply Nature's PPAR protocol to protect your bone marrow, to protect your spleen. All these are the critical product factory for your immune system. Protect them from the chemotherapy, protect them from the radiation therapy, so that when you're finished with it, when you've successfully fought the cancer, your immune system is intact, which means the chances of recurrence will be lower. I hope that's a rather long and comprehensive. Did I miss anything, Doc?
No, I think you said it all.
Okay. Okay. I think the next two questions let Dr. Jansen answer completely by himself. Okay.
Okay. I just want to echo out that for those of you who wish to have a consultation with Dr. Jansen and Calalan, on the description box is the link where you can actually schedule yourself to be communicated and called by Miss Beth, his secretary, for you to be able to have a schedule with Dr. Jansen. All right. Okay. All right. So another question coming from Miss Miralyn Garcia. Good evening, sir and doctor. Is it okay taking probiotics while on chemo or radiation?
Yes, I think you should. No, not I think you should. Okay,
You should.
Because yeah, like what Shan just said, no, side effects of chemotherapy and radiation therapy. Well, specifically, more for chemotherapy, no, the effect would be your immune system would function less. Okay, it damages the immune system. So if it damages the immune system, you should take every measure to make sure that your immune system is functioning well. And one of the benefits of probiotics is specifically that. Okay, it's to make your immune system strong. Okay, so yeah, by all means, you should take probiotics while you're on chemotherapy. Okay?
It's so surprising that your gut actually affects two things that are very important in the fight against cancer. Number one is your immune system. Number two is actually your mental
Happiness. Yes, your
your moods, all right? I don't know whether you guys know it or not, but your gut is directly linked to your mood. So one of our good friends is a pediatric neurologist. Even when she meets a person who's depressed, schizophrenia, even schizophrenia, split personality, any brain disorder, first question she asks the patient is not what's wrong with your head. She'll ask this first question: are you constipated? So the root of mental or brain disorders actually comes from constipation, because constipation means that your gut health is not good, and that actually leads to brain disorders. So taking enough fiber, having good bowel movement helps with your immune system, helps with your mood, which is very important in your fight against cancer.
Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Another question coming from Mr. Ogi Sabian. What can you say about taking Metamucil? They say it's high in fiber.
Metamucil is psyllium. So Metamucil is okay if you find yourself constipated, or if you find yourself not eating so many vegetables, or if you are someone who really hates vegetables and you really want to start getting on increasing the amount of fiber in your diet, but you just hate the taste of vegetables, fruits and vegetables, then psyllium husk would be a good choice, no? Just to increase, just to get your body working on something. All right. However, please don't stay too long on psyllium husk if you're trying to shift on a plant-based diet, because it won't be sustainable in the long run. Okay, and you won't get the appropriate antioxidants, the nutrients. Okay, because Metamucil is just psyllium. Okay. Another one would be constipation. Constipation. What else? What else did we miss? Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, that's what psyllium husk is good for.
I have a question. It's very strange. When I have food poisoning, which means I will have LBM, I actually take cleanse.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting approach, right? The thing is coming out, and I take our Cleansing Plus, which is a dietary fiber. My concept was the body wants to pull this poison out of my body, so I'm gonna give it more fiber to pull it all out.
I get what you're doing. I think that would be,
because I actually feel better.
Yes, I think that that makes sense. That really makes a lot of sense. Okay, let me explain why. Okay. You just ate a rotten or a raw oyster.
That is bad.
And that is bad. No? So when you ate it, you immediately start LBM. Yeah. Why are you getting LBM? It's because of all the bacteria, bad bacteria that you just ate, which is causing the LBM. Okay, so the body is trying to expel the food, the bad food that you just ate. So if you take in a product like cleanse or psyllium, no, or Metamucil, or cleanse, no, the fiber that you just drink will push the bad stuff out together. Yeah. So it would push the bad stuff out much faster. And since psyllium it absorbs water really quite fast. So together with the water, even the toxins would get trapped inside. So it
holds it there.
Acts like a sponge.
Yeah.
It holds it there, then you can expel it much.
Because that's what we do when doctors prescribe to us activated charcoal.
Yeah, charcoal is
right. It's to absorb the toxins so that it will come out with the poo poo.
Same principle.
So that's my
that makes sense.
Fiber hack. When I have constipation, I call in. When I get food poisoning, I call in to work. Tomorrow I'm not coming to work because I'm gonna take lots of cleanse. I will be going to poo poo a lot the next 8 to 10 hours, but after that I'll feel so much better.
Thank you. I believe that a lot of our clients and patients who are watching now can actually totally relate, because they know that if this Cleansing Plus is on the table and they forgot to drink it, it feels really thick.
Yeah, that's why it will absorb all the nasty stuff and it come out together, right? Yeah.
There's the use of it.
Yeah, actually, Doc, I also even use this when I feel like fever coming or something like that, right? Because you do know, right? Like when you poop,
it just makes
like the
feels
heat,
better.
the inflammation, all that feeling comes out. You know, I'm sure it's not just feeling. I'm sure it's the actual thing. I mean, the body translated into feeling to let us know that, yeah, you're doing the right thing, right? Yeah, so sometimes when I feel I'm coming under the weather, I would even take fiber just to make sure that I poop. Oh, and after that, you feel so light. You feel much better. Fiber is amazing. We don't take enough of this stuff.
Yeah.
True. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Another question coming from Mr. Miss Emmy Punong Bayan. Hi, Doc. I had colorectal cancer stage 4 with liver mets. What can you recommend for my meal?
For your meal, it would still be a plant-based diet. Okay, it would still be a plant-based diet, but I think it would be better if you go for a consult because there are different types, no, of a plant-based diet. So I don't know if you can eat a solid food solid food, or you're on liquid diet all throughout. So I can make a proper recommendation.
Because doc, it's possible for colorectal cancer that their passageway is stuck. So your doctor might even tell you don't take fiber.
Yes,
so so go for a proper consult with Dr. Jansen. It's dangerous. If to all our viewers, right, whatever we say is how shall we say, general.
Yes, it's general.
General medical understanding and theory. Your particular this is cancer, so be very specific and know your specific conditions. So go for a consult. All right. Now, if you have a flu or diabetes, don't worry. No need consult. Just take the PEPA tablets. You're gonna be fine. But if you have cancer, let's be very careful. Especially if you're going through other therapies like chemotherapy or even surgery. So let's not play around. Let's be serious. Have a consult with Dr. Jansen. At least during this program, when you ask all these questions, you know now why you're going to the consult and what you want to learn from the consult, right? As opposed to many times you have an appointment with your uncle, you go in lost, you come out lost, but you have a big medical bill. So I think that's the main difference here. Yeah.
Yes, well, I couldn't agree more. I've seen how Dr. Jansen consults, and he really digs into all the details, even the supplements that they are taking in.
And I want to take my last statement back because we work with some really fantastic oncologists, and they are so thorough with their patient. Their patients tell me how wonderful their oncologists are. So I take that back. There are really very good oncologists out there. So yeah.
Yeah, we work with them, right?
Yeah, we work with, like, Dr. Jimmy is an excellent onco. So caring to his patients, so patient with them also. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Another question coming from Ms. Marilyn Garcia. It's finished already. Another question coming from Ms. Rosella Baito. Is probiotics good for kidney disease?
Interesting question.
How about for people on dialysis?
Or people on dialysis. I think this would be a good webinar topic for CKD.
This is what I like about Dr. Jansen. If he's not 100% sure, he won't say anything. So we'll come back to you. Join us next week.
I think this would be a good topic for the CKD. The relationship of probiotics and chronic kidney disease.
That is an interesting one because probiotics is so available now. And it has so many benefits. If it's good, it's something every CKD patient can actually go over the counter without a prescription.
True.
Yeah, so it's worth exploring. Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. We will give you a proper answer sometime this quarter.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we are still in January.
Yeah.
It's still a good time for you to also recommend or suggest topics for us to discuss this year. So just comment them down on the comment section. Okay, another question coming from Mr. Nathaniel. Can we get more fiber by eating the skin on vegetables such as potatoes and carrots?
Yes.
Yes.
Most, not really. Most vegetables? Yeah. Most vegetables actually you can get the fiber from its skin. Yeah.
But this is the first time I heard anyone eat Carrot skin.
Carrot skin, yeah,
Okay.
you usually remove
Yeah.
that.
Potato
with,
skins, yes.
yeah.
Potato skins, I am familiar, but that's really interesting.
Anyway, for carrots, I think it's okay to remove the skin because inside the carrot are still
A lot of fiber.
A lot of fiber because the carrot is a root. Yeah, right. So I think it's okay. Yeah. The only time that we consider eating the skin is fruits, because there are some fruits wherein if you remove the outer covering or the skin, then yeah, you remove majority of the nutrients, like your apple.
I have this feeling also with like potato, the skin might have
Yes,
nutrients
the skin has
rather than
yes.
carrots. Carrot skin, like, it's not a different color from the carrot, which is the first clue. Which is the first clue whether the nutritional content is the same or not the same.
And you know the biggest sign that you can see the color of the
Flesh.
the color of the plant is the antioxidant. It's the color of the antioxidant. So a carrot is orange throughout, right?
Yeah.
So that is beta carotene throughout. Different with potatoes. Potato, when you skin them,
It's different.
it's
Sometimes it's
yellow.
purple inside, sometimes
Yes.
it's yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the color of the plant food that you see is the antioxidant itself. Like your sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes have purple, you have
Orange.
So the purple and the orange is the color of the antioxidant or the nutrient.
Doc,
Okay?
the guideline that in terms of vegetables and fruits, purple being healing color, is that something that, I mean, that's on like general, those who are vegan, they follow. As a doctor, do you concur with that general guideline?
Well,
like eggplant,
well, not always. Though
but generally.
in general, usually if the color is purple, it tends to be more healthier. It tends to be healthier.
Yeah, and very few foods are actually purple.
Yes. Like for example, purple. If you compare purple cabbage to the regular cabbage, purple cabbage is more
Superior.
healthier. It's superior.
Yeah, it's
when it
also
comes to
bitter.
antioxidant.
It's also bitter. So bitter foods are good for you also. In
Usually.
Chinese culinary medicine, right? Yeah, the bitter ones are the ones with the healing properties.
Usually it is, yeah.
Like your bitter gourd, right? I love Filipino cuisine. You have managed to make the ampalaya not bitter. The way you fry it with egg ampalaya in Philippines. I think you soak it in salt water. That takes away the bitterness. Yeah, I wonder if it takes away the nutrition, but but it's tasty. Yeah.
And Doc, this suggestion of keeping the skin of the potato is also good for applicable also for cancer patients. Miss Glyza is asking.
Yes, it's also applicable.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, sir. Another question coming from Mr. Larry De La Cruz. Hi, Doc. Is chicken and fish good for cancer patients who are still on chemo?
No. Okay.
Sorry,
Again. Animal protein. So regardless of that, if that's organic, okay or not, or if the fish has scales or not, or if the fish is freshwater or salt water, the body will not distinguish. As long as the protein came from animals, animal protein can promote cancer growth. Okay, it increases your risk of cancer growth. Okay, it's because of IGF-1. Okay, very important. IGF-1 is if you Google that, it's insulin-like growth factor 1. So insulin-like growth factor 1 is a tumor promoter. Okay, so be careful.
And I'm gonna preempt a question related to Doc Jansen's answer, which is, what happens if you're losing weight and your doctor says you need protein, right? So that's the usual reason why even your onco will actually be the one telling you to eat meat. But then again, that's no longer a limiting choice. There is now, just go to any healthy options and a shop like that. You can find plant protein shakes, right? There's enough, like in a plant protein shake, one scoop of it is like eating a lot of beef, for example. It's a lot of protein, and it's all plant-based. Okay, plant-based protein don't work the same way. It's not cancer-causing like animal protein. So for your information, because my wife and I don't drink Milo anymore. because the Milo doesn't taste like our childhood Milo anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I tasted.
Yeah, it's like a lot of emulsifiers.
Yeah, years ago,
like just like palm oil in there.
Already.
Yeah, last time Milo was so delicious. Milo was delicious. Today it's like some emulsifier, you know, like it's thick without flavor. So it's just like palm oil. So my wife has actually switched to drinking plant protein, chocolate flavored plant protein mixed in hot water, which is a weird way to drink plant protein shakes, because normally people put it with cold water,
Yes,
right?
cold water, yeah.
She drinks it with hot water, and that's her new Milo. Okay, and because my wife is also very thin, so she wants to get more protein. So for cancer patients who need protein, you don't need to eat meat. Go and drink some plant-based protein shakes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Another question coming from Miss Marlene De Leon. How about mushrooms in can? Is it okay? Is it good?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, as long as it's not processed. I mean, canned mushrooms, the bottled mushrooms that's whole, right? So that's immersed in salt water. Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah. As long as you when you open the can, right, and when you try to cook the mushrooms, throw away the water inside the can. Okay.
Good news. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Another question coming from Miss Nini Barachina. May you please, is lychee mushroom powder good? Lychee?
Okay, again, I would always, I want to tell you that if you want to take Lingzi, go to a reputable TCM. Okay, Lingzi is a medicine in Chinese medicine. So as long as anything is a medicine, you can take it like for a short period, 1 week, 2 weeks, fine. But if you want to take it longer than that, you need to know about dosaging, because you can take too much and it can have a toxic effect. Okay, so yes, Lingzi is in Chinese one of the very valuable herbs, together with 100-year-old ginsengs. You know, I googled a single 100-year-old ginseng can be like $50,000-$60,000.
Yeah.
It's good for only one boiling. You boil one soup, $50,000, right? Okay, so you can imagine. Yeah. So talk about expensive, right? Yeah. So these are very precious herbs, but again, these are not herbs that you should take without a Chinese doctor who's well versed in it monitoring you. Yes, you can take it for a short while, but anything for a prolonged period, no, I wouldn't advise it. Go and seek a TCM and ask. Bring your powder to your TCM and ask him what does he think about it, and then tell him how long you want to take it, and he'll tell you. You know, my wife has many. What shall we say? Sometimes she takes Chinese herbs to get rid of acid reflux or something. I can't remember what it was, but she was doing well, and then her doctor said, okay, stop taking it, go and eat proper vegetables instead. So that tells you something. Even her TCM doesn't want her to stay on the herbs for too long a time. Okay, so I think let this be cautionary to everyone. There is a big difference between herbs and food. You can eat so many potatoes or carrots. You eat too many carrots, you turn orange. You stop. You start to go to the CR. You turn back to the normal color. Okay, but herbs are not like that. They can be toxic.
Okay. All right, another question coming from Miss Lily Neo. Doc, can cancer patients eat wheat-related products like spaghetti, noodles, wheat germ, bread, wheat germ?
I think I've read somewhere like wheat is like really not good for you. Is it?
No.
Is it GMO wheat?
I think it's a GMO wheat, but GMO, the industry doesn't feed GMO food to humans. Okay.
Oh?
No, they don't. That's illegal, you know.
Oh, I did not know
That's
that.
illegal. So
I thought all the soya beans that we take are 90% GMO.
No. The only if the GMO soy, they feed it to the animals, to the cattle.
Huh?
Yes, they feed it to the cattle, but you cannot feed GMO soy to humans. I mean, if you do that, that's really
Yeah, but
illegal.
I wouldn't
But
I wouldn't be surprised if some people do that. All right, just to
Yeah,
make money.
That's right.
Yeah.
To answer Miss Lily's question, yes, cancer patients can eat wheat related products as long as it's whole wheat. Okay, so you can eat whole wheat spaghetti, whole wheat noodles, like your I forgot the noodles, buckwheat noodles. Okay, some fiber biscuits, but please please read the ingredients. Okay, if the products includes egg products, okay, spaghetti, noodles can include eggs in them. If it has eggs, don't eat them. Okay, for bread, if it has milk, if it has eggs, don't eat. Okay, usually manufacturers include bread and eggs in some of our breads. Okay, please be careful. That also includes biscuits. Okay, yeah. But again, don't eat too much. If you wanna eat them, it's okay. Eat them sparingly, just for you to enjoy the taste. Okay.
I used to like to eat a lot of these biscuits because they're convenient.
Yes.
But recently, in the last 3 years, there's been a lot of scandal about the oil that biscuit makers use, and I found out that even for something like a skyflake, yeah, you shouldn't eat more than three small pieces a day.
Yeah.
Something about the oil that they use is legal to use these oils, but it's not good.
I think I know what type of oil you're saying. It's trans fats. They usually use trans fats. Now it's illegal to use trans fats already in the US. However, for the Philippines, I still see some foods, some cooking oils that still has trans fats. So why is trans fat so demonized? It's because trans fats can cause, it can cause cancer, it can cause heart disease, it can cause stroke, no? So it can increase your risk for diabetes as well. Okay, so please be careful.
Yeah, this was a big issue in Singapore because many of us grew up eating crackers.
Yeah.
Like your fita, right?
Yeah,
fita.
same here.
Fita.
I grew up
So
on
we
fita as
would take like 3 fitas in the morning with tea, and then another 3 fitas during merienda. Right, then when you're late at night, you can't find anything to eat. You may take another 3 fita. So you take about 9 to 10, one small roll of fita every day, right? And that's the case for some people like our parents who are like so traditional. They just eat the same thing every day. Not like us young people that we get sick of it. We always try to find new things, right?
Yeah, then they wonder why is my cholesterol so high.
Yeah, so
they're cooked in saturated fats. So
when I learned that, I was very sad because there's some I don't know in Philippines. In Singapore, it's called cream crackers. It's just plain crackers. Nothing. It looks like a fita. Okay, but it's something we grew up with. We dip it in Milo and then you eat it. But anyway, I don't drink Milo now, so I don't eat my cream crackers anymore. So yeah, it was a big issue because many of us grew up with that, and suddenly it was in all the airwaves. And in Singapore, all the airwaves are actually sort of monitored or encouraged by the government. So if they're saying something is bad, it's because the Ministry of Health wants to get that message out. So we didn't ignore it. So I think a lot of people cut down on eating these biscuits, all right, to just 1 or 2 a day maximum, all right. So
I just realized, these biscuits that we are mentioning, these are the things that are might be available nearby schools.
Yeah. That's why our children are having all sorts of problems.
Just be careful. Be more careful with this.
Yeah.
Okay, another question coming from Ms. Liza Tan. Is Quaker good for cancer patients? I think the oatmeal. She's talking about the oatmeal.
Yeah, oats are good for cancer. Yes. Yeah, oats Quaker. Yeah.
Should we cook oats?
Yeah, cook. You
Some
can
people
cook them or just soak them overnight.
Yeah, that's the thing that we had a discussion about, right, Doc?
Yes.
My aunt who had stomach cancer was eating rolled oats soaked in milk milk overnight for like 3 to 4 years.
4 years.
And my sister then went to make an informal survey. So I'll say this with a pinch of salt. It's an informal survey. It seems that people who use this practice all have slight GI issues. And I was doing it for like a month until one day, you know, when I poured Quaker rolled oats out, and then I look inside the empty packaging.
Yeah.
There's like powder, right? There's powder.
Yes.
So I was just thinking, this was cut by a machine.
Yeah.
Huge machine. And then it was just harvested from the farm. Did they wash it? They should, but you know, you can imagine the sacks of the raw oats they pour into the machine, going down conveyor belts, and then, you know, I'm sure they try to keep it clean, but you know, they're processing tons of this stuff, and then I eat it raw. So suddenly I was thinking maybe that's not a good idea. Suddenly I'm thinking maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I think
it's quite a trend now.
It would be better to wash. Yeah, wash first before you cook, or you turn them into overnight oats.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe you wash it first, or you maybe what's that called? Poach it, right?
Poach.
That means just pour hot water over it and drain it out.
Treat it like rice.
Yeah, because you know, my godfather, who is a biobotanist, right, always told me this: Shen, don't eat raw vegetables. Don't eat raw vegetables because, you know, there are lots and lots of pesticides on them. He say, you know, so even when he brings me to restaurants, he never orders raw vegetables. And the reason is he will always tell me, even if you want to eat it crisp, you just got to take boiling water and like at least sprinkle over it. Yeah, right, to break down the most harmful of the pesticides. Because we use a lot of it in farming now. Okay, it's very difficult not to. Okay, so yeah, Kath Tan is overnight oats. I asked Doc Jansen the same question about chia seeds. Someone gave me chia seeds, right?
Yeah.
You can't wash chia seeds. The moment you wash chia seeds, they start to expand, right? Yeah, but I was thinking again, how can it be? What if the farmer that picks it cough on the thing, his hands are not clean, the dirt? How did they wash this thing, right? And then we're eating it raw. You get what I mean? We're eating it raw. Just like, would you dare to eat any normal salmon raw? It's very dangerous, you know.
Very dangerous.
Salmon that is meant for sashimi is not the salmon you buy from Q-Mart. It's not you buy from the wet market. These fish are carefully moved around, and they are a lot more expensive because so much care was going into them because they knew these will be eaten raw. So how they handle them, they always make sure they were frozen at every point, they didn't thaw out. Yeah, these are very dangerous because they could be so much bacteria in them, right? So yeah, so this, okay, I think I scared everybody. we are now all going to go on a diet. We'll all lose weight. Hallelujah. All right, yeah. I'm just giving you something to think about, right? Something to think about. Yeah.
Just some few questions that we have here. I really hope we could answer everything before we say goodbye.
Okay, let's quickly go to it.
How about cacao choco? Is it okay for cancer patients?
Cacao, yes, it's okay. Cacao is okay, but be careful of chocolates, okay? Because usually chocolates has dairy. Manufacturers put in dairy inside chocolate, so be careful.
Next question. Let's bang. Let's
seafood.
Go. Seafood.
Okay, seafood like shell. Is it good for cancer patients?
No, again, animal protein, animal food, not good for cancer patients.
And shellfish is especially bad.
Yes.
They carry a lot of
metals.
toxins and heavy metals.
Okay. Barley. How about that? Barley?
Barley is okay. Barley is okay for cancer patients. But again, be careful, no? Because there are a lot of products, barley products out there in the market which has really low amount of fiber. Okay, so how do you know that if the product has sufficient amounts of fiber? Okay, please listen carefully. I'm not gonna repeat this. Okay?
Formula time.
Formula. Okay, write this down. Okay, take a look at the total carbohydrates. Take a look at the fiber content. divide the total carbohydrates by the fiber. Okay? If the number that you get is 5 and below, the fiber content is adequate. It's okay. Okay? If the number that you get is above 5, more than 5, then the amount of fiber is not enough. Okay?
More than 5. Oh, okay.
Maybe Sheila, you just type it in the chat, all right? So that
We'll do.
Okay.
Okay, a little later. But one more time, carbo divided by fiber should be less than 5.
Yes, that's what we want. 5 or less. Okay?
Okay, another question coming from Anonymous. Is popcorn considered junk food or healthy snack?
If the popcorn is laden with butter, then no, it won't be anymore. But if the popcorn that you are popping, it came from seeds, the seeds that you buy from the supermarket that is just plain popcorn seeds, then that is okay.
Oh, good news for cancer.
Okay, I've never seen any Filipino eat plain popcorn. The popcorn is coated with 2 millimeter of caramel, sugar, sour cream flavor,
Really?
cinnamon,
Oh,
all
wow.
sorts of flavor,
Really?
like Chef Tony's popcorn and things like that. I have not seen, okay, but I actually know crazy health buffs who enjoy popcorn totally plain.
Wow. So
Totally plain. Maybe a little bit of dash of sea salt on top, alright? And if it's hot and warm, it actually is nice. Okay, if it's cold, not so good.
Yeah, I've tasted popcorn that is just popped, without the butter.
Totally fresh, no butter, no
Just
nothing.
plain, it's good.
It's good. It's flavorful. But the moment it cools down, the flavor sort of also drops.
Yeah.
So it has to be like warm,
warm,
and then you
yes.
sprinkle a little bit of sea salt on top, and that's healthy.
Yep.
You can eat that. But I don't believe that's the popcorn that our viewer is asking us. I am quite sure your popcorn is coated in sugar, coated in flavors.
Doc, I heard you one time. You said you suggested nutritional yeast.
Yes, you can sprinkle nutritional yeast on your popcorn. That will be very flavorful.
Another flavor, okay, microalgae, Simply Nature pea bars. You can actually sprinkle that, crush the tablets, then sprinkle that on your popcorn. Delicious.
Expensive popcorn.
Yeah, but it's
I love Calalan says she eats plain popcorn every night. Okay, I stand corrected. I salute you. Okay. Okay. Oh wait, that's your mom. Okay.
Hello, Miss.
Oh, hi, Achi. Air fried. Hers is air fried.
Yes.
All right. All right. Okay. Very good. Very good. Because your son will scold you if you put anything on top. All right. Okay.
Hello po. Thank you for watching us tonight. Okay. All right. I think this will be our last question coming from Ms. Becky Matthew. Is it okay to take supplements for cancer patients?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
If normal people, healthy people take supplements, right? What more cancer patients? You should. Okay. If you wanted to know what supplements you should take, just please go for a consult, and I can prescribe you some. And probably if you're already taking supplements, if you want to know they're good for you, or if you want to optimize because you're taking so many, then
bring your supplements.
Yep.
Show them to Dr. Jansen. It would be nice if you take photo of the label and send it before your consult so that Dr. Jansen has time to take a look at it. And to Mary Ann Castro, you're absolutely right. Carbo divided by fiber must be 5 or less. The ratio should be 5 or less.
Okay.
I think we have steamed corn. Lily, steamed corn is good. Okay, go.
Yes. I forgot what I'm about to say, but just before, of course, we say goodbye to our viewers. Of course, our parting words to all of them. Okay. Starting up with. Wants to go first?
I'll go first. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Tonight was really very encouraging. We actually have people who are chief med techs. Thank you. We have people from hospitals, medical centers joining us. I hope you also enjoyed tonight as much as our regular viewers, our cancer patients and patients. And please join us. We do this every Thursday. Please share with other professionals. We would love to have more professionals during the Ask Me Anything part. It's more stressful for Dr. Jansen, all right? But I think it's more fun for all the viewers because you have really interesting questions. All right. So with that, we have a very exciting year for you. There'll be some upcoming developments in the program. Things will be shaken up for starting in March. So look forward to that. Doc?
Yeah, so thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you learned a lot. So one of the reasons why I chose immunotherapy as our topic tonight is because immunotherapy is right around the corner. Actually, in this decade, I think immunotherapy would be really mainstream when it comes to cancer treatment. And with the advent of AI, yeah, AI will speed things so fast. Okay, so yeah, it's very important that we get that we educate ourselves with what's new in especially in the field of cancer, especially for all cancer patients that that are watching right now. So yeah, please stay tuned for our webinar next week. No, because next week we're going to go in depth in immunotherapy, specifically immune checkpoint inhibitor therapy. Okay, Sheila.
Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Thank you, Sir Sean. I'm sure our viewers are also would like to say thank you as well for answering all our questions for tonight. Yes, you said it, Dr. Jansen. Our next topic for January 26th, Thursday, 7:30 as well, is a new way to treating cancer, immune checkpoint inhibitors. And as mentioned as well by Sir Sean, we're having developments in our webinars. Speaking about that, you'll be meeting our new host, okay, next week.
Oh yes, Jen. Yes. Jen is a pharmacologist. A pharmacist. So another strong addition to the team.
Yeah.
You can ask her questions.
Definitely. Well, I am excited. I'm sure you are all excited to meet her next week. So don't miss that, okay? All right. So I just remember what I was about to tell a while ago about supplements. You know, a lot of patients are very surprised and amazed when seeing the nutritional content of our tablets and comparing that to all the things that they are taking in at the same time. So there you go. You might want to look into that as well. Of course, once again, for those people who wish to have a consult with Dr. Jansen and Calalan, the description box, the link is in the description box for you to become contacted by Ms. Beth. All right, so thank you so much once again for watching our webinar for tonight, and we hope to see you again in our next webinars to come, because here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everybody. Good night, and God bless you all.